So welcome to another edition of Enlightened Espresso. I'm here with Master Chang. Welcome. We've gotten requests for more. So much of what we talk about in the end, you come back to that stillness and that meditation as a way of achieving that stillness as the first part, right, of entry into Buddhism. And so we'll be adding a series coming soon on meditation. So stay tuned. We'll just a little preview today. But
why do you think people would come to our meditation?
Why do I think?
Yeah.
Who's interviewing who here? So no, I'll answer. I think people would come because they're in search for a sense of peace. And I think that's one of the most common comments I get about you is that you seem very peaceful. So I think people would like to get that, and if you tell them meditation is a good place to start, I think they would join.
Besides that, it's when you get into the practice, then you start to peel slowly layers and layers and layers and layers of what we call illusions about self. Mm-hmm. You come to the practice, because some people say, oh yeah, I like to get enlightened right away, but it doesn't seem that you're enlightened in the first sit, do you?
No. But when you talk about peeling it back and it back and it back, what's that first layer of illusion? Like if I'm just looking at it as an onion or a lotus, what's the first layer?
The most important thing is not about what is the first layer. It's the process. You're unpeeling, you keep unpeeling forever. So in Buddhism, the illusion doesn't mean a fixed thing. Illusion is whatever you believe with your eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, all of that is part of reality, but at the same time is illusion for a deeper reality. And every reality is illusion for a deeper reality. And so we keep peeling until one day you realize that there's like the Prajna Heart Sutra. There's no eyes, no ears, no tongue, no body, no mind, no inside, no outside. It's neither purity or defilement. They're beyond everything. It's the state where you only can describe as the ever-present light.
But you talk, and sorry to interrupt you,
but
but when we talk about illusion,
right.
I suspect if I go look up the Webster's definition of illusion, it's not real. And it's right, so it's something we think we see, but there's more.
Right. So you pick up the book, you pick up the cup here, you say, oh, this is real. But for the physicists, for Einstein, for example, he said, no, this 99% of every atom is empty space. So this is not solid. 99% of this cup here is empty.
Then tell me why it holds your tea then.
That's the illusion. We are in this illusory world. So we believe in this reality, it's solid. But for the physicists, especially quantum physicists, no, it's empty.
There's a certain relativity to all things.
So that's why we call relativity, because you may see this, but I may see a deeper level. But at some point, I see this, but you can see it at a different level. For example, if I go, you give me the tables of all the stock markets and all the arrows up and down, I don't know anything. For me, it's an illusion. There's no reality to it. But for you, it's so real. It tells you something else. Somebody else get a headache, go to see the doctor. The doctor doesn't see the headache. The doctor sees something else wrong in the body. You take an MRI and you see something in the brain. In other words, there's so many layers of views and visions, understanding and knowing.
But each one can be true in their own way, correct?
They are true in their own ways, and they are wrong in the other way. So everyone has this view, and they are correct for themselves on the point of view, but they're not correct on people's view.
So you got to broaden that view.
That's right. So the relativity is coming out from this thinking that everyone always holds the truth and see one angle of the truth, one angle that is really enlightened, but the other angles maybe is not enlightened. It's illusion because of that. And that's therefore what happened nowadays is that we are fighting to prove that I'm right, you're wrong. But I'm right because I'm standing here, look at this. But you also right because you look at there, you look at different angle, right? That is relativity. But that's called horizontal. Now it's in the vertical, meaning the same thing. But maybe a few years later, you know that your point of view is so childish.
Is that why empathy in Buddhism is so important? So to uncover the illusion of my view versus your view, to try and understand that there's some relativity to it.
Now you are hitting the nail on its head, because when you have views, you have 100,000 views, layers and layers of realities. I wouldn't say illusion. I said layers and layers of realities. Actually, in the Avatamsaka Sutra, one of the big sutra in Buddhism, they're talking about that. They're talking about the Buddha have different realities than bodhisattvas, and bodhisattvas have different realities from common beings. So we talk about different layers of realities, different illusion, and therefore our belief in it is also different. And how we attach to a view is also different. How we protect our view and how we identify the ego self with that view. And how do we protect it? And that's why we are fighting with each other, because we want to protect our views.
So is there a way, when, I guess through meditation, through uncovering that, peeling back that onion, do you see more views then?
Not only more view, but I can see from your point of view. But the most important thing that I haven't finished my thought, and that is why compassion and empathy is so important, because when you have compassion, there's all realities disappear. The heart of compassion take down and break down all the walls and all the layers. When the bodhisattva, when the just bodhisattva, meaning the great being, the people who practice Buddhist of the great heart, the very beginning bodhisattva and the very, very old and practice thousands of lifetimes, the two, the heart compassion, just one. There's no different.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How can they, if they're two, how can they be just one?
Here's the interesting part. So the Buddha told the story, very interesting, that, there's the village, and there's a young boy in the village, and during that time, there was a little flood because the rain washing down, and somehow in that forest, by the mountain, a tiger coming out, and the tiger got to the house of that boy. The boy had the parents, and the boy see the tiger coming to grasp his father, his mother. Out of love for his mom and dad, the boy jumped out and sacrificed his body for the tiger. Stop the tiger to attack the mother and father. Of course, the tiger, when the tiger get the boy, the tiger just ran away with the boy. Wouldn't want to bother the mother and father. So that's what the Buddha said. And he asked his sangha, his monk, he said, do you think that boy is a great bodhisattva? And everyone said, yeah, he's a great bodhisattva. I mean, he had to practice many, many lifetimes. Buddha said, no, he's just a regular, simply a boy, but his love is as a great bodhisattva. Okay. And that's why when you see couple, when they fight each other, my advice always, you learn how to love. You don't learn how to right the wrong. You don't learn how to make your stand.
So when you're counseling husband and wife, and you hear each of their positions, and then you tell them not to argue about who is right or wrong?
I always tell them, you need to learn how to love, how you express love, because there's no point that you're going to fight. You fight the end of the future times is getting nowhere.
Fair, right. Fair. I've been married 24 years, so I understand the point. The question becomes practicing it, right?
Exactly. And that's why we call the Tao is in the practice. In the Tao Te Ching, the Lao Tzu said the Tao is in the practice. The Tao is not about, is that illusion better than my illusion? Your reality is truer than my reality, you get nowhere, because all the realities, all the views, they have their validity, they have their own truthfulness there, but they cannot replace the other. The way that we see, you cannot change the way people see until they're ready to do it.
But in Buddhism, there's a saying: when you're ready, a teacher appears.
That's right.
And so when I look at illusion, if all I'm doing is uncovering the next illusion, then why bother?
That's the reason why the teacher appeared to wake you up from that illusion, so you stop going to be more illusory, or illusory, more deluded maybe.
Okay.
For that view, attached to that view. The teacher always helps you to knock down the wall, so you don't attach that view to that illusion. When you knock down and you let go of that view, you may see differently. You don't replace with another, but maybe you see from different perspective, you see from different angle of the same thing. And because of that, suddenly you realize you are so humble. When the husband looking from the point of view of the wife, you start to see that there's not much thing you can say.
But let's flip that. Let's ask for a second that I'm static in my position, and that I'm not peeling back the onion, and that I'm very happy with the illusion that I have right now.
Right.
What's the end results? Not every time, but I mean, give me something that I might expect as a result.
The universe will knock you out of that position.
What does that mean?
That means you think that you will close all the time. No, that's something will knock you out of it, because that's the nature of the universe. Nothing will stay static forever.
Okay.
Change is a constant. We thought everything's cool. Oh, the pandemic come, then everything had to change course. And that is how things happen. And that's how the Buddha said, in the word Buddha, awaken. It's something that we call a shock. It's not something that you are gently you change. No, something is so powerful, it's knock you out of that illusion.
It's an event that will shake you.
Could be, and that traumatic events, maybe something very simple. Maybe, for me, I'm supposed to be a monk. Somebody called me Mr. Chang. Well, that knocked me out of my head. Okay, all right. Then it make me, oh yeah, I'm not a monk, I'm a man. Wonderful.
So I ended the last episode by calling you Mr. and then Master. And so I'll put it Mr. Master this time. Apologies for the last time.
Yeah.
But give me a first step in starting to avoid the illusions or peeling them back.
Right. We should never avoid illusion. We should accept illusion. That's the first step.
Okay.
And number two, accept other illusions. What do you have to fight with other illusions? So people have different views, accept them. But the third one is very important. You grow, by peeling meaning you grow beyond all these views. You have a different view, it's not synthetic or synthesize all the other views, but the view that is going beyond the other view to see where and why they are thinking that way. That view is more enlightened, and that is how the Buddhist training of intuition always be that, like that. You train to see from higher point of vantage point, and you look at all this view and you realize that, hey, they had a reason. They had, because of their emotional background, that's why they think this way. Because of their social background, that's why they think this way. And here the view that maybe then they can all accept it.
So in the end, it helps you to probably relate to other people better too.
To relate to others, to connect and make everyone see from each other's views so they don't get stuck. And being free, keep going, keep transcending. I think that is the teaching about illusion. About illusion doesn't mean that you need to get to the reality, but to constantly transcending all the views. I think that is the essence of what we call prajna, meaning prajna is wisdom, transcending wisdom. Constantly transcend ourselves, constantly have a view open up Open up. So you open to infinity. You never stop. Open up yourselves.
So we'll continue opening up to infinity on the next episode.
Oh, wow.
We're already to an end, so thank you for your time.
All right.
Master.
See you next time.